Hey everybody, this is Hyperion here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a gear and build guide for the new ZDPS Support monk for patch 2.1.1. Um, as you guys might have noticed, the team composition for the higher greater rifts is generally a ZDPS Support monk, a ZDPS Support Witch Doctor, and then two DPS characters, the M6 Demon Hunters. Um, so it's again, the support monk is becoming really viable and an important aspect of greater rifts. So I figured I'd bring you guys a guide. Now the main goal of the support monk is crowd control and damage boosting. So because you're not doing any damage at all, really, it's very important that you boost your party's damage as much as possible. And with this build and gear setup, you're going to be boosting party damage by about 120%, which is going to make up for the fact that you're not doing any damage at all. So the most important aspect of this of the support monk is, as it was last time, is cooldown reduction, and this time there's even more emphasis on it. You're going to want about 75% cooldown reduction, um, and the way you're going to get that, there's a couple new items that came out with 2.1 that are really important for this. The first one being the Leoric's Crown, and you see that secondary effect. The secondary effect increases the effect of any gem socket into this helm by 94%. So that's pretty much giving me another 12% cooldown reduction on top of that. So this helm is giving me about 24% cooldown reduction. Really important to have. The next item is the Vigilante Belt. This was changed to roll with cooldown reduction on it. So mine rolled with 7, the max is 8, so that's a decent belt. So those are the two new items that are going to be really important for this build. Again, like the last monk, you're going to want the Captain Crimson's 2 set. And then you're also going to want the Born's 3 set, but I'm using the 2 set with the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which is also what I'd encourage you to do. So that's where most of your cooldown reduction is going to come from. The other is obviously going to be your gloves, rings, and amulet. The gloves really there's no required gloves for this. Pretty much any glove that you can get cooldown reduction on is going to work. I'd recommend something similar to these though, with like vitality, all resist, resource cost reduction, and cooldown reduction. That's about all you could really want on a good pair of gloves. Um, the rings you're going to want, both rings you're going to want to have open sockets in so you can put your gems in, and I'll go over the gems a bit later. You're going to want a Ring of Royal Grandeur with cooldown reduction and an open socket. And then your other ring, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it has cooldown reduction and an open socket. Mine rolled with, it's the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, so it has attack speed, resource cost reduction, cooldown reduction on it, which is pretty good. Resource cost reduction is helpful, but not at all required. So anyways, a ring like that would be good. Amulet, any amulet will do now pretty much as long as you have cooldown reduction on it, and I'd recommend something with survivability on it like this does with the vitality and life percent. The Zephyrian amulet used to be required in 2.1, but in 2.1.1 they added a cooldown to the elite affixes or the elite packs with lightning in it, so it's no longer required. I just haven't gone and found a different amulet yet. I would recommend, and I haven't play tested it yet, but there's a cache-specific amulet, the Overwhelming Desire, in the Act 3 caches that has a secondary effects that affix, and I think it's chance on hit to charm enemies. Enemies that are charmed take 35% more damage. I think that would be really a really great amulet for a support monk. But I haven't checked it out. But any amulet that has cooldown reduction on it would be really good. The other items, you're going to want strong arm bracers. These are absolutely required. And the reason being is since you're boosting, your primary goal is to boost party damage, that secondary effects of enemies hit by knockbacks over 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This is going to get procced by your Cyclone Strike. So that's 25% more damage boosting. You're going to want that for sure. They're required for this build. Other items, I'd highly recommend a Sledge Fist. Because of the secondary effect, mine is a 49% chance to stun on hit. Really helpful. It works on Rift bosses as well, which is going to be really helpful for your party. Um, and then also, if you can get it, the Azurath Blade is also helpful. It says because of that secondary effect, 23% chance to freeze on hit. So with these combined, you've got about a 75% chance to do some sort of a crowd control on enemies, which is really helpful. So if you can get those two, that's great. Otherwise, any weapon will work, but you're going to want to roll cooldown reduction on both your weapons. It's going to be required. You're going to want to get as high as you can on them. Another thing, just briefly, that I'll mention is critical hit chance and critical hit damage do not play any part in this build at all, so you don't want that anywhere on your gear. Attack speed is fine. It's actually helpful if you have it, but it's not required, so you don't need to go find specific gear with with attack speed on it. If it just rolls with that natively, then that's fine. So anyways, those are your main gear requirements. Oh, yeah, the gems. You're going to want to use the Gogok of Swiftness, and the reason being is one is it's going to boost your attack speed, which is going to be generating more spirit. And then also when you get your full 15 stacks, that's going to give you 15% cooldown reduction, which is really important for permanent Serenity. That's how you're going to be staying alive as a monk. As a support monk is permanent Serenity. And I'll show you that a bit later and go over that a bit later. But so you're going to want the Gogok of Swiftness at rank 25. That's required. And also the Gem of Efficacious Toxin at rank 25 is also required. And that's because of the secondary, the rank 25 effects on it. All enemies you poison take 10% increased damage from all sources. Again, that's a 10% damage increase for everybody in your party. So those are the two required gems. You're going to absolutely want to use them for this build. Anyways, so for the skills now, unlike the last support monk build, this one is going to run. You are going to run a spirit generator, and you're going to be running crippling wave, breaking wave, and what that does is again, it's a 10% damage increase for your party. So you're going to want to run this, and that's again where your damage boosting is going to be coming in, and it's also going to be your spirit regeneration. Next, you're going to want Inner Sanctuary with Forbidden Palace. And the point of this is, one is it's going to, well, the main thing is the secondary effects that you're looking for. Enemies inside Inner Sanctuary take 30% increased damage and have their movement speed reduced by 80%. First off is this, the 30% increased damage is very important. Again, boosting party damage, so that's really important. And the second is the slowed movement speed is reduced. That's slow. It's going to proc the legendary gem Bane of the Trapped, which most Demon Hunters run. So that's going to be really helpful for them and giving them a damage boost again. I get Cyclone Strike Implosion. It's been in every support build ever. Again, very important, absolute must. You're going to want to run Epiphany with Desert Shroud. If you've been in the higher greater rifts, 40 plus, the amount of damage you take as a melee character is unbelievably high. So you're going to want this up all the time. And you'll see, I'll take you out to the Field of Misery and show you just a little bit of play on this. You're pretty much, this will be up 100% of the time. Um, Next, Serenity Ascension. This is probably your most important skill for the support monk right now. Absolutely must have. And this is what's going to allow you to tank everything. And when you've got the full stacks of your Gogok of Swiftness up, this is going to be up 100% of the time, which is effectively, if you do it properly, going to make you immortal. So you're going to want to make sure when you're fighting that you constantly hit this as often as possible. Mantra of Conviction, you're going to want to run Overraw on this, again, just for the damage boost for your party, really important. And you're going to want to make sure that you constantly spam that that 3-second bonus of 24% damage. So yeah, make sure that you just keep that up at all times. Passives, there's a little bit of room in the passives for what you personally want. The one passive that you are definitely going to want for sure is Beacon of Ytar. So I'll go over what I'm using, and then I'll tell you some things you could swap out for. I use Sixth Sense, which is it just reduces all non-physical damage by 25%. Again, just flat damage reduction, really important. I like the near-death experience because sometimes in the greater rifts, your Serenity will drop for a split second at the wrong time, and it'll instantly kill you, and this will prevent that from happening. So I personally think this one is really important, but you can change it out if you want. And Transcendence, this gives you life per spirit spent. You're going through an incredible amount of spirit, and you'll see that when I give you a little bit of a gameplay demonstration. So this actually does supply some pretty significant healing. Some other options, though, that you can go for would be Resolve, which damage you deal reduces enemy damage by 20% for 4 seconds. That's just going to be because you're going to be constantly dealing damage. Technically not much damage, but you will be dealing damage. So that's going to give you pretty much a permanent 20% damage reduction, which is a pretty good option. Exalted Soul is helpful as well if you need a little bit more spirit regeneration and want to increase your overall spirit. The Guardian's Path is not a bad option as well because it gives you're going to be dual wielding always. It's going to give you a 35% dodge chance, and in greater rifts, 35% dodge chance pretty much means 35% chance to not get one-shotted. So that's definitely helpful. If you are having problems with spirit generation, you can run with Alacrity. That'll help you out a good bit. You can also run with Harmony if you have decent single resist. I don't have enough single resist on my armor to make it worth using, because I made sure I crafted and found armor, pretty much everything with all resist. So this isn't going to help me much, but if you have a lot of single resist, you can go with this. Anyways, those are just some of the other options for passives that you can use. It's totally up to you. The one you're going to really want to make sure you use, though, is the Beacon of Ytar. That one is mandatory. I really highly recommend this, the near-death experience. The other two are totally up to you. Anyways, so now I'll take you guys out and give you just a little bit of a gameplay demonstration on this and how it works. So you can see more or less what you're going to be doing. Granted, there's no DPS in the game right now, so I'm not going to be killing anything, but you'll at least see more or less how this playstyle works. Okay, So you see here, you just pretty much, this is all you're going to be doing the entire time. Keep your Serenity up all the time. And you can see I've got Permanent Serenity. And I also have Permanent Epiphany. And this is just going to be what you're doing. This is what your gameplay is going to look like, more or less. And you want to keep that mantra of conviction spamming. Anyways, that's what the gameplay is going to be more or less like. You're going to be wanting to work together with the ZDPS Witch Doctor in your party, because they'll be locking down the elites to stop their affixes. But a lot of times, here we go, this is what I was looking for, an elite pack here. And you can see with this that one is I'm stunning them pretty significantly a lot of the time, but two is I'm not taking any damage from them. And that's the important thing that I want to show you is I'm not taking any damage at all. Anyways, though, what I was saying is you're going to be wanting to work with your ZDPS Witch Doctor to make sure that you pull the enemies in towards the Witch Doctor. Here, I'll just port out of there real quick so that I can tell you guys, explain to you easier without having to worry about it. That's another nice thing with a ZDPS monk is you can, with the Epiphany up, your actions can't be stopped. So if you're teleporting to town, they can't stop you from teleporting to town. But that's really helpful in Greater Rifts because you can pop Serenity. While Epiphany is up, just pop Serenity and go over and you can resurrect dead party members in the middle of combat, which is really helpful. Anyways, though, if you've run with a ZDPS Witch Doctor, they will lock down, fear lock enemies to where they cannot do anything. They can't move. Elites can't proc their affixes, anything. The problem is, though, is they don't have the ability to group enemies up like monks do with the Cyclone Strike. So if an elite pack is a little bit spread out, the elites can sometimes escape, or the minions can escape and start casting their affixes, which then causes problems for the whole party and especially the DPS. So as a monk, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you group up all the elites right at the Witch Doctor, and that will that'll keep all the minions and all the elite pack locked down at once. So that's going to be something you're going to want to do is you're going to want to work together with the ZDPS Witch Doctor to make sure you're grouping up all the enemies on his location. Anyways, I hope you guys find this build and guide useful. I'd recommend going out and building one. They're really fun. I personally love the support monk gameplay style. It's fun and always needed. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Anyways, if you guys are liking my videos, I'd appreciate it if you'd comment or subscribe. And I will be back at you later with more videos.